Hello, this is Iron Defense Dale, and today I will be recording the WTDL mock draft for Season 5. It's going to be 3 rounds, and I want to use as much information as possible to decide what I think every one of these players are going to take. Now, I'm not going to do me, but I will do all other 11 players. So, let's begin, shall we? Up first with the first pick in the draft, we have Yita Wheat. Now, Yita participated in season 2. Um, Started with Annihilate Mousehold, made 3 trades immediately, and got second place, I believe, in the whole thing, second or third in the whole league. But the primary offensive strategy was um, Annihilate Mousehold. Um, it was very effective. Won almost every game. In season 3, he went with Rillaboom and Iron Treads amongst others, and made 3 trades early, dropping Rillaboom of all things, and ended up dropping the season early. Um, Unfortunate, but you can still glean the strategies that were going on from that. Now, I think Yita loves to draft aggressively, loves to be aggressive with trades, loves to be aggressive with the draft, and then make those trades to make the perfect team, and then just stick with what he's got. Now, I because of this, I think now this is the first pick, so this could be anything, right? I think it's going to be best available pick. I think he's got to go with the best available pick, lest it falls to somebody else that gets it. Now, the top 3 picks in S tier, I think, are Fluttermane, Raging Bolt, and Urshifu Single Strike. Um, those may be right here, if I can scroll a little bit. Those right here, you have Fluttermane, you have other Pokemon here, Raging Bolt, and Urshifu Single Strike. I think ultimately that Yeeta's going to go with Urshifu Single Strike here. Urshifu Single Strike is a menace. It it can just KO things at will. You can't protect in front of it, and you can use that threat of not being able to protect in front of it to be even more aggressive. That is exactly what I think he's going to do, is get Urshifu Single Strike as the first overall pick. Now JKG is up next. JKG has been with the league for more seasons than I've been here, but I'm going to use the past 3 seasons as reference. All 3 seasons, JKG has picked up Iron Jugulis in some capacity, whether it be early or mid rounds. Iron Jugulis has served him well, and rightfully so. Iron Jugulis is a really strong Pokemon, can offer Tailwind, Snarl support, hits really hard for what it's worth. Season 2 is Iron Jugulis plus Psy Spam. Season 3, it was Iron Tregulus plus Klefki and Basculegion M. That was his championship season. And this last season, Season 4, was Iron Tregulus plus Ogerpon Teal Mask and Typhlosion Hisui. Typhlosion Hisui got many KOs and was an absolute destructive force, just running through teams, getting KOs, but that was about all he could muster at times, was Typhlosion Hisui getting KOs, and did not fare too well outside of that. That being said, I can see from this, JKG loves Tailwind, loves fast teams, loves being able to punch you in the mouth, and loves being able to, get the KOs before you can even move. For that reason, I think JKG with the second pick is going to pick up either a Tailwind Abuser or Tailwind Setter, a premier one at that. Now, I don't think he's going to pick a premier Tailwind Setter, because there's plenty now that are manual or not manual. So I'm going to bet it's going to end up being a premier Tailwind Abuser. The likes of could be a Flutter Mane, being even faster, or being able to use special booster. Raging Bolt really benefits from it, so you don't have to necessarily rely on your priority. And Walking Wake. I think Walking Wake can be there as well. Um, Especially when you incorporate like a Tailwind plus Sun, or Tailwind plus Rain mode with Walking Wake, which there's, I think, enough Prankster Tailwind setters in S and Tier 1 that you can manage with that. For that reason, I'm going to say JKG picks Walking Wake. I think Walking Wake is the pick here. It's too good to pass up, I think. It's devastating. It fits his play style. It's going to be a good time. And I think that still leaves room to pick up an Iron Jugulus later. Not that he will or will not. I just think he will. At some point, pick up Iron Jugulus again. Altix. Altix. Pick 3. A very interesting position to be in. Can't guarantee that the best Pokemon will be there, but Altix likes to try. Altix is a wild card. I genuinely think Altix is a wild card. Played season 1 and season 2. I wasn't there for season 1, but season 2 used Iron Bundle and unfortunately had to drop early and then didn't participate season 3 or season 4. But Altix likes being aggressive and likes being able to enable Pokemon to do well. That being said, I think because this is a wild card, I'm going to say this could be a best available pick. This could be I'm going to pick a Pokemon I like. I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, Altix picks Ogerpon W. Picks Ogerpon Wellspring. It's a great enabler. It does a lot. It'll wash your dishes for you. It's going to do great. And it fits on a lot of teams. It's expensive, but it fits on a lot of teams. Next up, I think, next up we have 616. I think 616 loves to try new things. Started out season 2, Iron Moth King Gambit, didn't fare that well, but improved dramatically in season 3 with Hard Trick Room with Ursaluna and picking up Cress in mid-season, almost making playoffs after a rough start. That was impressive. And I think he can try to recapture that if he can start out hot and stay even moderately lukewarm. He's going to make playoffs again. He is a great battler and has the sauce. Season 4 got balance and then traded the farm, essentially, to pick up Murkrow and Basket Legion M, which Karth dropped. That core served him well. Not necessarily Murkrow, but Basket Legion M served him well. Picking up a lot of very important KOs endgame. And that nuke button was very nice, and he loved it dramatically. Ursaluna was also a nuke button. And then he had Basket Legion and was successful with that nuke button. I think he's not necessarily going to draft a nuke button immediately, but he will draft Chen Pao because Chen Pao makes everything a nuke button. I don't know how to spell Chen Pao. We're just going to go with that. I think that's how you spell it. Chen Pao. Chen Pao makes everything a nuke button. Makes a lot of sense. A little frail. Gonna have to learn how to read and make protects as needed. But generally, you just want to keep your Chen Pao alive and let your partner do all the work, and then occasionally click Sucker Punch or Ice Spin or Ice Cool Crash. Or Sacred Sword in certain situations. So that's what I'm thinking. Chen Pao, great pick here. Next up, Nerdy, the head honcho himself. I like Nerdy's drafts every single season, even if I haven't said it immediately that I think this draft has what it takes. It always proves me wrong. That being said, Sand Offense was a Season 2 draft, and he ended up making it into playoffs, clutching up some playoff wins, and unfortunately not being able to close it out against an undefeated Caprador Caprador was bananas that season, and I think if you just take that team that he had in a vacuum, how he was performing with it in season 2, he would have made it. If Caprador didn't have that stacked team. Season 3 ended up making it all the way. Or, no, not all the way. Never mind. What am I thinking? Season 3 ended up doing very well in the playoffs with Chen Pao Arcanine. But ended up falling to JKG in the playoffs. JKG went on to go all the way to the finals and beat me. So Chen Pao Arcanine was very strong. And then season 4 was Rain plus Goldengo, and everyone who participated in that feared the Rain plus Goldengo. The only person to beat that was me, until the finals where Fiasco clutched up and beat him. And everyone, a lot of people thought that Rain plus Goldengo team was going to be just unbeatable. And if you ask me, I think it's just such an oppressive team. The one thing that I gather from those 3 seasons, Nerdy is a meticulous drafter, loves to draft a very specific archetype and Pokemon that fill certain roles, very calculated in what he's doing, and I think that is a great strategy when you can land it. Now, there's a couple Pokemon that I think can go here. I think he's going to pick a physical attacker. He likes his physical attackers. He had them season 2, season 3. Season 4 was a little bit of an outlier to that, with Goldengo and Pelipper doing so well. But I think it's going to end up being a Gouging Fire pick here, over something like a Hearthflame, Ogerpon Hearthflame. Gouging Fire offers more flexibility, can be a boosting set, or it can boost its allies with Howl, and I think that's incredible. Also, I know Nerdy's used Gouging Fire on a team before. Used Gouging Fire on an actual VGC team and competed with it. So Gouging Fire has a lot of usability and can show up and do really well for him. So for that, I'm going to say Gouging Fire goes pick 5 to Nerdy. Oh, if I can spell. Gouging Fire goes to pick 5. Now me, I'm going to not say a thing. I'm going to do a separate video on what I am going to draft. And we'll go over my draft strategy. I'll record it before the draft and release it after the draft, kind of giving a breakdown of what I think, and then I'll release videos during the draft as like daily recaps. So that's what's going to happen there. That's in 2 weeks, so that'll be a good time. So we're going to skip me, pretend that I'm not even there. I'm going to draft assuming that I don't even pick. Next up, Pixie Gatito. Now, Pixie is, as far as all of us know, and I do know, brand new. Brand new. Never done VGC draft. Very little, or if any, VGC experience. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that's potentially a boon, because that means that the most comfortable team she's going to be able to grow with. This could be something that's very simple to use, has a really easy, like win condition, hard to KO. I think is very important here. The 2 Pokemon that come to mind are Iron Hands, which JBX had last season, and Raging Bolt, which is new. Both of them are very bulky, can absolutely nuke in certain situations, have utility of their own, and can run a billion different sets. It's just a glue pick that can also just destroy if needed. And between Raging Bolt and Iron Hands, I think it's going to end up being Raging Bolt here. Raging Bolt just feels like the best pick available, um, and should absolutely be picked up. It's just such a comfortable pick to use. I know that's kind of making it fall down the board a little bit, um, but I think it's a good pick. Just a comfort pick. Next up is Adilov. Adilov's draft history has Adilov's done well in the seasons, but each season's kind of stuck differently. The season 2, Iron Valiant and Salamence, pretty standard, very aggressive, very fast team. Ended up getting bullied because it had a lack of bulk. Um, Season 3 was Iron Valiant and Salamence version 2 with more bulk and playing a little bit safer. Did a little bit better, I believe, but still wasn't able to make it all the way. Season 4 was a totally different team, and that was Snow plus Trick Room and Blood Moon Ursaluna. That team did very well, and Snow was generally very good because there were bulky pieces like Infernape and Conkeldurr. It was a devastating team to face. You'd just get punched in the mouth if you couldn't KO those Pokemon. He likes being comfortable with his team. I think comfort is something Adilov seeks in a team. Something that, feels really not a ton of question marks on how to play it. Really, like, simple. Not necessarily in a bad way. Simple can be even better than complicated. And for that, I think he's going to end up going a Rain team, and he's going to pick Pelipper as the first pick. First tier 1 is Pelipper. I think Pelipper is that good that it can go in the first round because the entire board opens up when you pick Pelipper. Tier 4s become viable, Tier 2s and 3s become viable and just elevated to, nuke status. Pelipper is that Pokemon. And Tailwind, it's just so useful to a team trying to form its identity. And it's done extremely well every season that it's been picked. It has made a team nearly dominant. So I'm looking forward to seeing Pelipper being used. In this case, I have Adilov taking it. I bet it's going to be picked. Even if Adilov doesn't actually take it, I know it's going to be picked. Next up, we have Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is brand new to draft. Fiasco's friend coming in. Brand new to draft. I don't know, brand new to VGC, a little bit of VGC experience, I think, but still brand new to doubles draft. Well, I think this is a situation where the best Pokemon will be picked. The best available Pokemon will be picked. And 2 of the 3 best available Pokemon are gone already, being Urshifu Single Strike and Raging Bolt. I think Amon-Ra takes Flutter Mane here. And maybe this is a little bit of copium, saying Amon-Ra takes Flutter Mane, because I don't think the other 2 going down in between Amon-Ra and Fiasco take Flutter Mane. I just don't want Fiasco to get Flutter Mane again. But I'm going to say Amon-Ra takes Flutter Mane here. Now, next up, JBX, Season 4, Iron Hands Trick Room. Pretty standard, very comfort-oriented draft for a new player. Now has a season of experience under his belt. Might try something a little different. Might try something a little bit more, fancy. But I think he's going to pick a glue pick here again. Iron Hands was the glue pick last time. I think JBX picks Rillaboom as a glue pick. Not necessarily committing to Trick Room, but committing to, a glue pick to just build around. Grassy terrain can do a lot of things. Maybe, who knows what'll be picked, but I will get to that. I'll be building on the fly here for rounds 2 and 3. Now Score is pick 11. Score's second season. I think it was second season. Season 2. Score's Season 2 team was Parish Trap plus Roaring Moon's Sun. Was thought to be the most dominant team coming of the out of the draft. Unfortunately, didn't fare well, and then Score had to drop. Very sad. Wanted to see the comeback, but it happens. Um, Season 3, Iron Moth King Gambit kind of felt like a 616 copy team because Season 2, 616 drafted Iron Moth and King Gambit, and Bellybolt at that. So it was a very interesting draft. And Season 4 did very well with Soft Trick Room Ursaluna. Um, and was pretty devastating. Made it to playoffs with that team. From what I gather from Score, I think he picks off of a plan. I don't think he's going to draft best available. He picks strictly off of a plan and runs with it. And I think the plan this time is going to be setup redirection. I think setup redirection is just a devastating strategy. And in this case, I think it's going to be Komo getting picked. Komo is a really good setup Pokemon. Loves to Terra, so we'll get to that, but is just so evil when it can set up. And now we get to the Season 4 champion, Fiasco, getting the last pick, getting the wheel pick. Now, Fiasco had Fluttermane Season 3 and Season 4, both seasons got Fluttermane. Drafted first overall 2 seasons in a row, getting Fluttermane. We are very fortunate that he doesn't have it this time, and fortunate that Amon-Ra is drafting Fluttermane. But in that case, I think he's going to draft something that's going to be a nuke button, or a potential nuke button, similar to how Fluttermane's a nuke button. He didn't use it as a nuke button, but having that threat really did him a lot of good. And for that, I think Fiasco is going to pick Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu is a nuke button. Even though there's other picks happening, Chi-Yu is a really good pick here. Now, this is where it gets a little challenging, because I'm just going to build on the fly. Fiasco picks next, the wheel pick, and I'm going to say Fiasco is going to not necessarily draft an S tier. I think he's going to draft a 1. I think he has to draft Tailwind. And that Tailwind is going to also have to set Sun for Chi-Yu. He has a couple options. He has Murkrow. He has the bugs. And he has Talonflame if he wants to go that direction. Although Sunny Day doesn't get Prankster. Just the Tailwind does. I'm going to say Fiasco takes I'm gonna say he takes Volbeat. Nerdy had Volbeat last time. I think he takes Volbeat again. I think he takes Volbeat second pick, or first pick in the second round. Volbeat. I think it's too good to pass up because you get Sun, you get Disruption, you get Tailwind. It's great. Like, just being able to click that massive nuke button with Chi-Yu, like, it's hard to stop. So it's going to be fun to see that combination. Score getting the second pick in the second round with Komo. There's a couple options that could happen. You could have a redirection. I think redirection has to be here. And there's a couple good round 1 redirectors. And those redirectors are Clefairy and Sinistra. But there's other redirectors. There's Electabuzz and Magmar. Out of those two, I think Magmar is the better pick. But I think Score is going to probably end up going for Sinistra. I think Sinistra is a better glue pick. Like, you can then get bulky stuff later, and it'd be even bulkier because you just swap in and out. So I'm going to say Sinistra gets picked here. Sinistra. JBX and Rillaboom. And then getting a pick pretty quick. A bulky pick. That bulky pick, there's so many options. Being able to also have that grass type nuke. I think a fire type or a water type's necessary here. Like a really good fire or water type just to soak up some of those fire attacks. Or in fire type's case, even the bug type attacks. I want to. No. I want to say he's not going to do either. I want to say he's going to go Sneasler. Just be super aggressive. Sneasler on the Revenge Tour being. I think it's a good pick. I think he's going to be fast. Fast, and then he can build bulky later. Fluttermane, Amon-Ra picking Fluttermane. This is a tough decision. I don't know how Amon-Ra is going to play. I don't think it's going to be setup Fluttermane. I think it's going to end up being like nuke Fluttermane. So I think he's going to want something to deal with steel and poison. And maybe dark. And for that, I think it's going to end up being Arcanine Hisui. It doesn't deal with poison, but it certainly deals with steel well. Just being able to eat those steel hits and intimidate for a Fluttermane, that's big. Likes to Terra as well. Gives an option. Pelipper. Now this is a tough one. I think Adelov's going to go for another tier 1. I think it's going to end up being Basculegion M. He's going to go full rain. He's going to go full rain here. And just go for it. Now Raging Bolt, you know, with that. So you have Raging Bolt. It's going to be, you know, set up Raging Bolt, you know, Assault Vest Raging Bolt. I think something that's going to be helpful is a little bit of redirection. And that redirection may come in the form of just like something that can eat fairy hits as well. And for that, I think Magmar, the first tier 2 goes here. Magmar. I misspelled this. Sin Ischa. There we go. Magmar goes with Raging Bolt. I'm not going to say what I'm going to pick. Nerdy going Gouging Fire. I think has to go with something that likes Howl support. And the ultimate Gouging Fire support mon is Ting Lu. Ting Lu is that guy to go with Gouging Fire. Basically half of a free Assault Vest. Loves being able to get Howl support. So for that, I think he's going Ting Lu. Now 616 is in a little bit of a pickle. He probably wanted Arcanine Hisui. And Dragonite's probably too expensive for him. But for his sake, he's going to pick another priority user in Tier 1. That's going to be Metagross. I think he's picking Metagross. Ultix has a redirector already. Has a water and a grass type. But could probably benefit from something that can boost really well. Maybe Snowball a little bit. That's tough. I think a good boosting Pokemon that can Snowball, in this case, a Tier 1, probably Spectrier. think Spectre is good. The redirection will allow nasty plots. It can snowball once it gets going. Just be a bot and follow me. Click Ivy Cudgel as needed. Water Terra isn't bad for it. It protects it pretty well from all of its weaknesses. Makes them neutral. So I think that's good. Keeps the doors open. Now JKG is telegraphed that he is drafting Sun and will draft Torkoal. I think he's going to pick up a different Pokemon for Tailwind in round 3. Yeetawheat getting Urshifu. Fairy is a huge scare, but you can always Terra Poison. I think he's going to go with one of his favorite Pokemon. He drafted it in Season 2. And that is and that's Gyarados. I think he picks up Gyarados here. He did really well with it. It's just such a bulky piece, and intimidating to keep his Urshifu alive is nice. And support moves like Thunder Wave are devastating when Urshifu doesn't really have a way to boost its speed. And then Ida gets to pick again in round 3. I think it's going to be Tailwind. I think he's going to end up picking Illumise. There's the Tailwind. And then JKG is going to end up picking Iron Jugulus, as one does. And for Altix, I think he's going to end up starting to build around Spectre. He's going to see Spectre there, and he's going to pick up a Tier 2 pick. He's going to pick up Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl with Fake Tears will make Spectre be able to get its KOs, keep itself going, get its snowballing going, and just be a menace. I think that's going to be really helpful for it. 616 having Chenpao Metagross, he's going to want something to he's going to want something to continue to just be bulky. I think a especially bulky pick is really needed here. And I may have to look at the list. Especially bulky pick. Especially bulky pick. Let's say, there's one. I'm going to say you pick Suicune. Suicune can keep all of them alive and give Tailwind for Metagross if he so chooses. I think Suicune is that pick. It's good enough to be drafted in the 3rd round for sure. Tailwind, unflinchable Tailwind, gets Snarl. It can keep all of them alive. It's not really a Chenpao partner, but it's a good Metagross partner. And then I think in the later rounds you can start to afford to pick up more partners for Chenpao that are not physical. Gouging Fire Ting-Lu. Trying to think what the normal partners are here. I think Nerdy is going to pick up Amoonguss here. Just really go into that bulky mode. Force people to make decisions about their items. I think Amoonguss is a great pick. Also enabling Gouging Fire and Ting-Lu to stick around longer is huge. I'm not gonna mark my stuff. And then we get to Pixie Gatito. Raging Bolt Magmar, very strong, but probably wants a something to deal with ground types, whether it be a grass type or a flying type. Being weak to ground isn't ideal. Stomping tantrums everywhere. But I think a good grass type goes a long way. And it's probably going to come from Tier 2. Let's see what we got. I gotta scroll slower. Ah, right there. No, I don't really like that one. Maybe that one? Yeah, let's go with that one. Let's go with Iron Leaves. Iron Leaves. Very, very fast. Hits hard, grass type, so it can take on the ground type stuff. And if it's left unchecked, it will KO you. So that's always a cool combination. I think Adelov's going to push even further into this rain archetype, but needs to start thinking, okay, electric types. Everyone's going to pick an offensive electric. Everyone's going to bring their electric type to this battle. I'm going to pick up Gastro. I think Gastro's worth it. Doesn't have to be out all the time. Really wants to be out with Pelipper and wants to sit there absorbing whatever, like switching in on any electric types or electric type attacks. Now I think Gastrodon isn't always the best pick in this situation. There's other picks that could be good. Um, you could want a Follow Me user. Actually, screw it. We're going Electabuzz. I'm talking myself into an Electabuzz here. Electabuzz does everything that it needs to do. It's going to be speed control as well. Going to have Follow Me. Going to resist electric type attacks. And it doesn't really fear ground type because you got Pelipper to switch in. So that's really good for it. Any way to get Basket Legion and get more attacks off before it inevitably KOs itself with a Wave Crash is good. So we have Fluttermane, Arcanine. That's a great start to Amon-Ray's draft. Feels very similar to Fiasco's Season 4 team, which is ironic because they're friends. So, yeah, that could be interesting. For the sake of argument, I think it's going to be a grass type here. A lot of the good grass types are starting to head off. Sunny Day is definitely something that needs to be picked up. So I'm going to say Murkrow gets picked up. Prankster Sunny Day. And then JBX with this combination. I think it's going to be a situation. I think regular Arcanine gets drafted. Cantonian Arcanine. I know that's 3 tier 1s, but that's kind of all the points. And then it has to start being tier 2s. But I think it's going to be an aggressive draft for JBX. And then Score picking up Como and Sinistcha. This is a tough one. I'm thinking bulky tier 2, probably. And, for Score's sake, you know what? Let's have him pick this. I'm going to say Score picks up a Venusaur. Doubling down on the grass types. But it was his fairy, which is the most important part. And it can function in Sun and be devastating there. So it's like, I think he's going to build like a manual Sun later down the road. And Fiasco, now having Chi-Yu Volbeat, and not necessarily having Spectre, which is the best third pick that he could get. I think he's going to search into tier 2 to pick up a good special attacker. And that good special attacker, you know what? I like that pick. I think he's going to end up picking, oh wait, what was that? It was all the way up here. Yeah, I think he's going to pick Basket Legion F. It's good special attacker. It gives him an option to run Rain, or Sun. I think it's good enough to pick then. Shadow Ball's gonna hurt. It's definitely no slouch, especially with Chi-Yu. So yeah, this is what I think the first 3 rounds are gonna pick. Some of these are definitely reaches. Some of them are not. I think this draft in particular is gonna be difficult once you get to round 3, like to even predict what people are gonna take. I have a lot of tailwind going, but that could totally not happen because it's a really good trick room draft. There's value everywhere. If I had to say what my favorite team is here that I'm having someone take, it's probably Nerdy's. I really like Nerdy's team. I like the Gouging Fire Ting Lu combo way too much. I really hope someone gets Gouging Fire and or Ting Lu. That would be amazing. So yeah, that is my 3-round mock draft. Rambled on for a while, but I'm really happy with it, and I look forward to seeing what everyone cooks up in 2 weeks. And in 1 week, we have the preseason tournament, and we get to have a glimpse of how people want to play. Maybe, perhaps, people reveal what they want to do, but I doubt it. So, yeah, 3-round mock draft. Thank you for watching. It was a lot of fun. Good exercise for me, thinking about what people want to do. And I'm sure, someone can make comments about, you missed this pick. Please tell me. Please tell me what I missed. Interact with me. It is fun. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, whenever. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.